Okay, everybody. Today we have an incredible return guest. We have Lawrence Richardson. He was on in the past because he had a huge plant-based transformation. He lost so much weight, reversed type 2 diabetes, and so many health issues through going plant-based. And he is back and better than ever. He has just completed a 30-day watermelon cleanse. And this is actually one of my favorite cleanses on earth. When I did this a couple years ago, I did about 10 or 14 days and I was literally skipping and hopping with joy down the street. I don't think I ever felt better. So I saw Lawrence on Instagram doing this right now and I had to hit him up, bring him on and share his story. So let's hop into it. How's it going?
Doing wonderful, Jillian. Thank you for having me on your show. Looking forward to the conversation.
Yeah, me too. Okay, so maybe we should talk a little bit about the plant-based too and the watermelon for people who didn't see your first video, but let's get into the cleanse. So, what inspired you to start this cleanse and what happened?
Yeah, so probably about a year and a half ago, I was starting to fall off, wasn't as disciplined. I was still eating plant-based, but I was eating more like vegan junk food and stuff like that. Slowly but surely, my weight started to kick up a little bit. I was going to the doctor. They were saying some of my healthy results I got last time were kind of fading away a little bit. So that was kind of a attention grabber there. It was like, look, you got to get serious about things because you're regressing and not progressing. So I've done fruit fasts in the past. I've joined challenges where I did watermelon or just straight up fruit. And so I said, you know what? Let me lean into watermelon. For whatever reason, watermelon, it spoke to me for whatever reason. So I decided I was going to do a 30-day challenge just by myself to do just watermelon only. And so I jumped into it on day one. Along the way, I started to use like motivational things like listen to a podcast, lady named Mel Robbins. Essentially, she had a guy on there who was talking about how to take control of your life. And there are some steps that he suggested, like um, eating properly, movement, relaxation, and rest. So I started to walk, 10K steps a day. I started to get 8 hours of sleep. I started to relax on my walks in nature. And as far as my nutrition, it was the watermelon. And I was sticking to a very strict routine of getting up at basically 4 in the morning and going on my walks. And I think a culmination of that, plus having a desire to get healthier, that really helped me to stay on course during this 30-day watermelon cleanse. During the challenge, I think day 14 was the toughest for me. For whatever reason, I was craving other things. I was smelling people's food at work, and I think one thing I had to do was I had to ignore my mood and basically just follow the process. No matter what's going on around you, whether it's a stressful day at work or whether you may be having let's say, an argument with a friend or whatnot.
Hmm.
That's no excuse to lean into food if you're an emotional eater like I once was in the past. So I essentially, like I said, stopped listening to my mood, followed the process, made it through day 14, and just kept on going, listening to motivational things online, watching podcasts, and just staying in the energy and flow of other positive information that would help me stay on course.
Wow. Well, good job. Bravo. 30 days. That takes a lot of discipline. And I feel like when we have that discipline with something like that, it leads over and spills over to other areas of our life. And it's really a great experience. So would you say overall, like the 30 days, it ended up being a positive experience? You're glad you did it. And what would you say, like the list of the benefits you experienced?
Yeah, totally outstanding experience. I think the benefits, definitely clarity of mind, definitely more disciplined. I'm now, I guess, about 2 weeks or so removed from the cleanse, and I'm following a healthy plant-based diet. I'm packing my meals the day before. I'm staying on course. I'm saying no to maybe lunches side of work where the food may not be healthy. And so it's helping me to make better decisions as I'm going on my day. It's made me more confident. It's helped me keep a structure. I think I gained confidence by doing these 30 days. And so that confidence is also translated into me keeping a structure on a daily basis, getting up early in the morning, going for my walks, working out in the gym now that I'm eating more of a variety of plant-based foods. And just overall, I'm just a more positive person. I'm more upbeat. I'm calmer. And it really just helps me overall with the let's say, stressful job I have. I'm more calm during stressful moments. And that's a huge benefit for me because in the past, when I wasn't diligent with my lifestyle, I was stressed and I wasn't following the protocol, which I should be doing.
Yeah, so you would say like probably the month was a lot more positive because you did that, right? Because you did the cleanse?
So much more positive.
Yeah, and okay, so how did you stick to it? Because I know a lot of people, even me, like with my parents passing away this year, like they passed away right back to back.
Yes.
And like I didn't turn to like into an alcoholic again or like back to burgers or like a lot of paths I could have gone because it's like that and a lot of other things happening that I haven't shared have just been like insane. But I did get really carried away with like stimulants and so much matcha, so much cacao, kombucha, just like not it's not healthy doing that, right? I was luckily I've gotten off all that. I just have one little matcha a day. But I did try a bunch of times get into a cleanse and I just was like, how come I can't get the discipline this time like I used to have? So give us the tips. How can we get the discipline? Because this is a cleanse. It's May now. Watermelon's coming into season, right? They're going into season through summer. So this is when we want to take advantage. This cleanse is just so deep, cellular, spiritual, makes you feel so hydrated and incredible. So help us, Lawrence. What can we do to stick through the cleanse, especially the first few days when it can be tough?
Absolutely. So you definitely want to be prepared. The first, I guess, the day before my first day, went to the grocery store, bought about 6 to 7 melons. And so being prepared is number one. And then I'd always, the night before, chop my watermelon up, either put it in big containers or big gallon Ziploc bags and refrigerate it and make sure in the morning when I got up, I didn't have to prepare it. I could just grab it and go. And then during the day, when you're hungry, just keep eating watermelon. If you're invited out to lunch events, I work as an engineer, so I'm in the field a lot. And so I went with a team of engineers out. We went to a Mexican restaurant, but I had my watermelon. So I just plated my plate with watermelon and ate it no matter what.
Were they
These are
like,
the,
you're crazy? Were they like, this is nuts? What are you doing?
they were like I was crazy. But they understood why I was doing it and they respected it. But definitely stay prepared. Follow motivation online. The people who are doing cleanses or who are eating healthy, who are motivational, watch them on a daily basis. I find that when you watch this information and you stay tuned to all this stuff, it really helps you with your journey. Sometimes when you're on these journeys, you feel like you're alone, but when you see other people doing the same thing, it feels like you have some kind of community and you look up to these people and you feed off of their momentum. And so I think that's super helpful. Preparation, follow the flow, follow the energy of other people. And I guess, having a why is very important.
Hmm.
For me, it was just cleaning up my act, getting healthier. And that's so important because, your health is your wealth. And once you lose it, it's hard to regain it. And so I think just knowing what your why is, it could be health, it could be you want to lose some weight, it could be you want better clarity of mind, you just want to feel better. Remember your why. And when times get hard, hold that near and dear to your heart because that may be the one thing that helps you stay the course and follow through with your cleanse or your lifestyle.
Yeah, well said. Okay. And what would you say is the biggest takeaway from this whole cleanse or the biggest thing you learn or the best part?
I think the biggest thing I learned is it's never too late to continue to be healthy or continue in this lifestyle. I started in this lifestyle around 2022 and I had a lot of success early on, losing 75 pounds, reversing type 2 diabetes, cholesterol, high blood pressure. And I stayed pretty successful with that lifestyle change for a while until, life happens. And so life is going to happen. But when it happens, you have to recognize where you are and where you want to get to, and then figure out an efficient way to get there. For me, the efficient way was the watermelon cleanse that allowed me to basically get more confident, get some structure, have some wins over a 30-day period of time that ultimately will hopefully take me, a long ways from now as far as doing this for a lifestyle. 30-day cleanse that's not sustainable for a long period of time, but what's sustainable is going back to a plant-based lifestyle that I truly thrive on and I'm truly thriving on right now. And so I think the big takeaway is no matter where you are, no matter what success or failures you've had, keep going because it's never too late and you owe it to yourself to be your best self and feel your best.
Yeah, well said. Okay. And would you say that because of this cleanse, like it helped you get back on track and be healthier than ever? Because I think a lot of people think, well, we shouldn't do a cleanse because then after it's just going to send us to McDonald's or Taco Bell, and just it's the cleanse is so extreme that you're going to get off and you're going to want every food under the sun that's man-made and all this. So, but in my experience, and for a lot of people, the cleanse can be a good reset that actually keeps you and gets you healthier than ever, right?
Totally. Yeah, I think for some people, it could trigger going back to old healthy ways. But I think what happens is it gives you clarity of mind. It allows you to realize what's important. You realize when you're feeling your best through these 30 days that it's the food I'm eating that's getting me there. So hopefully, when you transition from your cleanse to eating plant-based or whatever your lifestyle may be, you'll lean more toward the healthy foods and not the bad foods because you realize how beneficial it is for your lifestyle.
Yeah, okay. And I just want to touch on the diabetes quick because I know that that's a big issue that people are facing today, like one of the biggest problems on the planet right now with people's health. And so, for anybody who didn't see your podcast, just a quick recap of how you've reversed your type 2 diabetes and no longer suffer from that. And maybe your thoughts and views and experience around a watermelon cleanse with someone who had diabetes. Because some people think all that fruit sugar, but I think when you're just doing that cleanse, like it's cleansing your cells and it doesn't negatively impact blood sugars like that. But what do you have to say on all that?
Sure, absolutely. So a quick recap, around 2022, November, I was at the doctor's office. I was probably around 300 pounds, and the doctor said, look, you got your blood work, your type 2 diabetes is out of control, blood sugars, your cholesterol, your high blood pressure. We need to get you on medication, and I recommend a plant-based lifestyle. So I jumped into it head first. I started doing my research online. I started cooking and preparing food that was plant-based. I took my medicine. I followed my doctor's request. And over that period of time, I also adopted a active lifestyle. So basically, after about 3 months, my blood sugars and stuff were basically normalized. Fast forward around 9 months, I was able to get all my medications, no metformin, no cholesterol medications, no high blood pressure medications. So, that lifestyle really, really worked for me because it allowed me to get rid of all my ailments. And fast forward to now, I'm still actively working to, remain in good health. The watermelon cleanse has been outstanding. When you eat natural sugars like fruit and things like that stuff doesn't raise your blood sugar if you're eating consistently. Now, if you're mixing that with a sad American diet, you can expect negative results. But when you lean into the plant-based lifestyle, the fruits, the vegetables, the leafy greens and stuff, that's going to help sustain your lifestyle. I mean, your blood sugar. It's not going to be a lot of spikes. It's going to be more even as far as your blood sugar. And then over time, it's going to lower and allow you to get off your medications and stuff. And so I'm just thankful that I dived back into a cleanse and now I'm living a very active lifestyle and living off a plant-based lifestyle. That's really been beneficial to me. And I think cleanses like this will help sustain me over time. I think it's a good reset.
Hmm.
And now I'm back on a sustainable lifestyle that I think I'll be able to thrive on for years to come.
Yeah, because who knows where you'd be right now, Lawrence, if you didn't find the plant-based path, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I have relatives who had amputations, strokes, heart attacks, all kind of negative things. But I don't have to be a statistic. I don't have to be like a family member because, what you eat is your medicine. And so I'm going to continue to thrive and continue to work out, continue to get my steps in, do strength training,
Yeah.
and eat this diet because I have people that rely on me, and I also want to be around for a long time because life is a precious gift, and that's my advice.
It is good advice. And all the things you're talking about are so key, so huge. And I can relate. I've lost a lot of family members from health problems as well. Like my mom passed from stage 4 cancer. My dad died from heart issues. And my aunt just passed away. She had a stroke not long ago. And it's just like one after the other and very young. My mom was 67. My dad was 74. So immediately when I was caring for them in their last few months, I started thinking like, oh my, obviously it's devastating. And I started walking 30,000 steps a day because I started thinking like I want to be in great health in my 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s. And what we do now really paves the way for that, right? So what I saw with my family members and their life was a lack of, like, bless them, I love them, miss them so much, but not much exercise, right? So I think that can really impact the body when you're not moving. It's the key. Like my friend's grandmother passed away at 108, and she said she walked so much every day. And then her mom is still alive and completely thriving at 88. And she says it's because she walks all the time. And I think Clint Eastwood said at 94, he's thriving in health because of walking 10 miles a day. And like it's so important, right? And the mental health benefits and the movement is just so key, especially for regulating blood sugar and so many things. So it's not just the food. The movement is key. But okay, so also people might want to know, take us through a day in the life in the watermelon cleanse. And I think you juiced it and ate it, right? So the first time I did this cleanse was a few years ago. I have some videos on that. I'll put them down below. And the first time I did it, I think I just ate it. I didn't juice it at all. I think I did 21 days. I forget. And then the last time I did it, I juiced and ate it just for fun, just to switch it up. Because sometimes I like an ice watermelon juice. And if you're just having watermelon, I think it works. But do what's right for you with that cleanse. You can do it either way, I feel like, but let us know what you did.
Sure. Yeah. So first thing in the morning, got up around 4 a.m., had my watermelon already prepared. I like to go down to a park here in Houston and get my steps in. So I go down to the park. I would walk about 3 to 5 miles on average, usually three, depending on how much time I had, but 5 miles. And then I'd get to work. I start eating the watermelon, pretty busy day, meetings and such, but
Mhm.
I keep on eating the watermelon. Usually around I say 6 or 7 o'clock, I'd be done with my watermelon period. And then, sometimes when I start to say feel hungry in the evening, I would just either drink like some warm water with lemon, or I would go to sleep just so that I wouldn't have to worry about my, let's say, hunger symptoms. But I just kept on doing that day in and day out. And then some days my watermelon wouldn't be very sweet. It would taste bad. And so what I've learned from other people is if you blend it up or juice it, then it's more tolerable. And so I would sometimes I would put it in jars, juice it, take it to work that day. So I wouldn't essentially waste my watermelon. So during this cleanse, between drinking and eating the watermelon, I was also doing a lot of moving. That movement was very, very beneficial to just relaxation. When you're walking in the park, you're in nature. It allows you to think, reflect, plan on life. But my daily regimen was wake up with exercise, eat fruit throughout the day, and then in the evening, basically get enough rest so that the next day I could get up and stick to the routine.
Yeah, and you had a lot of energy, right? You didn't feel like.
Yeah, I had a lot of energy. I was able to walk on these, you know, 5 to 10K steps a day. I was able to jog. There was never a lack of energy. I always felt really good, pretty vibrant, and
Yeah.
energy wasn't a problem whatsoever. And some days I didn't sleep as long. It was interesting. I mean, I experienced that early on when I adopted the plant-based lifestyle. But yeah, some nights I'll wake up earlier than usual, and then I just get my day started a little bit earlier with my walks, or getting my day ready for work.
Wow. Well,
You,
this is amazing. Okay, and I just wanted to say too, also, I think you use the Nama juicer, right? When you juice, do you use the Nama? Okay, so they just let me know they're having a sale on. So if you guys are watching this between May 5th and May 22nd, you can save $85. So that's what I use to juice. And if I do the watermelon cleanse soon, I'll probably juice and eat it and do that. So you guys can save. I'll put the link down below. I wanted to ask you, like, you know so much about health now. You've been in this game for a long time. So what
yes.
would you say are like the three greatest things you've learned about health?
Good question. So I think things I've learned about health is it does matter what you put in your body. You
Mm-hmm.
know, um, fast food, processed foods, foods of convenience, foods at most restaurants aren't going to allow you to thrive. The plant-based food for me has been the game changer. And
Mm-hmm.
so I would say number one is it matters what you eat. The cleaner it is, the less oils, sugars, and salts and things like that you put in your food and processed stuff, the better you're going to thrive. Let's see, the next thing is movement matters, so the exercise that helps to stabilize your blood sugars is good for functional movement. As you get older, you're going to need to be able to move and stuff, to basically be healthy and be strong and to do the things that life requires of you. In addition to that, I feel like relaxation is key. When you relax, for me, it's walking in the park. It allows you to basically meditate on life, be clear on where you want to go, and it can help you stay focused on this lifestyle. When I'm walking in the morning, I'm thinking about, how can I, stay more diligent with my lifestyle, whether it's nutrition, whether it's movement. And so I think with those three things of, the diet, the movement, the exercise, those are very key to living a healthy, balanced life.
Yeah, okay. And some people think we can't live a healthy, balanced life on just the plants. They think we need animal products and amino acids and different things from the animals. So, how do you think that because you've been thriving for a while now like this, and how do you think long term you'll thrive? And do you think it'll ever be a route you'll have to take is to go back to animal products, or do you think you'll stay on plants?
Yeah, I don't think you need animal products. There's a lot of good plant-based protein options, aminos, and I say like lentils,
Mhm.
chickpeas, tempeh, tofu. There's a whole variety of options out there. I think individuals just need to do their research. Once they do their research, they'll stumble upon a wealth of information that will enable them to live whatever lifestyle they choose, whether it's bodybuilding, whether it's they're a triathlon competitor, or whether they're just a normal sedentary person who isn't very active. There is options for everyone, and so I think doing your research is key to finding what's going to be able to sustain you for whatever lifestyle that you live.
Yeah, okay. And any advice for somebody who wants to start the watermelon cleanse? Because look at you, you did it. So you did it in April, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
so and they weren't even quite in season. So if you can do it and you can succeed and thrive and have such a great experience when they're not even in season, when you do this cleanse and they're in season and you get your watermelons and they're just so good, honestly, there's nothing better. It's just so life transforming. Like you feel better than any drugs, anything. It feels so good. So any advice for somebody who wants to start the cleanse, wants to do it, and keep in mind, you guys, you don't have to do 30 days if you're going to do it. Like, even to just do a couple days, like 3, 4 days feels really good on it. But any advice for somebody who wants to get into that?
Yeah. Kind of think about a game plan. How like imagine yourself doing it before you do it, and then whatever game plan you think of or outline, follow that. So for me, it was I'm gonna make sure I have my watermelon ready the night before. I'm gonna take it the next day. After that, it's just repeat. So figure out what are you gonna do. If you're working from home every day, well then you can go down in the kitchen and you can chop it up on the spot or whatnot. But come up with a plan, follow it every day, and just enjoy the benefits in the process. Don't try to rush it. Enjoy the process each day, and like I said, enjoy the benefits of it because it's wonderful.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Okay, and anything else you want to share? Anything you think we missed that you want to end off with? If you think I missed anything at all about the cleanse or any popular questions people would ask you that you think I missed, and let everybody know where they can find you as well.
Yeah, so you can find me on YouTube and Instagram at Leaf Life with Lawrence. And I think closing out, I'll just close out by saying never give up. I've been at this in this lifestyle now for about 3 or 4 years, and there's going to be highs and lows, but I think you'll find the most benefit when you keep trying, when you keep on hanging around positive individuals or people who are in the lifestyle that you're in, and then watching information online. That's really going to help you, and I think you owe it to yourself to keep going, to feel your best, and to thrive in this lifestyle. So I would say keep going, stay positive, stay optimistic, and keep reaching for your goals no matter what.
I love that. And good job. I just want to say congratulations for just going down this path, losing all the weight, getting so much healthier. Because who knows what would have happened if you kept all that extra weight on, if the diabetes kept progressing, right? It could get really bad, like lost body parts, lost eyesight. Like it's freaking scary out there. So good job taking control, fixing those, getting the results. And good job getting yourself back on track in the way that worked best for you when you felt you were slipping off. Because that's just huge. Because it's so easy. You do see people that slip off and then they take years and years and years to hop back on, or they don't come back on. So, because it's tough, it's tough. It's a stressful world we live in, and these things can be addictive. So, good job. Bravo. And for anybody who wants to see the first podcast that Lawrence did, I'll pop that on the screen right now for you guys to check out. And I will also pop on the screen my most recent watermelon cleanse results video as well. So go check both of those out. Go make a watermelon juice or get some watermelon. And if you want that juicer, it's amazing. I'll put it down below as well. And I love you guys. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.